So then you started doing comedy around 17?
17 years old.
Okay,
Yep.
that's when you first walked into a comedy club?
Yep. I went in there on open mic night, and well, actually went the night before, on Friday night, and a guy told me, a comic there. I said, how do you get into comedy? How do you do this? I had no idea how to do this. Eddie Murphy was hot, and I just wanted to tell jokes on stage. And I remember him telling me, go home and write 5 minutes of material. Come on back on amateur night. And I was like, all right. And I was driving home. I was thinking, what the fuck is 5 minutes of material? I know how to Joan and snap on people. I don't know no jokes. And I remember I had an album by Stephen Wright and Rodney Dangerfield. And I took their jokes and switched it around the urban version, went to open mic night and killed. People were like, man, you funny as fuck. I'm like, this is easy to do this. But then, you can't take people's jokes and stuff. And after a couple of months, I wound up doing my own material. And I ran into Chappelle then. A lot of young comics was, running out there. DC had a lot of good comedians back
Chappelle
then.
came from DC. Yeah,
right. Tommy Davidson, Martin Lawrence, Wanda Sykes, Teddy Carpenter, Earthquake, Donnell Rawlings.
Aha. So all these guys were coming up around the same time.
Yeah, around the same time. We all came together. Yeah.
Okay. So what was your first big break after doing the comedy clubs?
I moved. I saw Tommy Davidson and Martin come here. Martin worked on, I was doing a movie called House Party, and Tommy Davidson was doing Living Color. So I came out, and I saw them on a vacation just to see how it was LA. They said, come on out. So a year later, I came back. I came out here, did the sleeping on the floors, all that kind of craziness. And a guy named Bob Sumner saw me, and he was doing a show called Def Comedy Jam. They had taped a couple of episodes, but they hadn't aired yet, because sometimes you tape stuff first before you air it. And he wanted to look for some new talent. He heard about me, flew out here, saw me, and then I did Def Comedy Jam.
Okay, was that the first season?
Yep, first season with Martin.
Yeah, Martin Lawrence was the host.
The host, yep.
Hell of a host, too.
Yeah, oh yeah, man, he was killing it. He was killing it.
Yeah,
killing it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing about these comedy shows. A lot of times the host is really what.
Oh yeah, it keeps it going.
What really ties it all together.
If a comic falters on the show, you got to bring it back up. You got to be a good host, and he was. I mean, he was perfect for the show.
I think he was probably the greatest host I've seen.
Yeah. Do you know actually that wasn't for him? That show was not for him.
Who's it for?
Robin Harris. It was Robin Harris They wanted Robin Harris to host it, but when he died, they were looking for somebody, and they were thinking about Damon Wayans. They were thinking about Arsenio Hall, but they talked to Eddie Murphy, and he said you should look at Martin Lawrence because he was doing that movie Boomerang with him at the time, and that's how Martin got the job.
So you're doing Def Comedy Jam, which has really gone down as the biggest, source of the biggest platform of finding new urban talent.
Sure.
Of all time.
No,
to this day.
Without a doubt.
To this day.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember I interviewed Russell Simmons. We talked about that. How he was basically saying how, the black community already knew about all these guys.
Right.
These guys were already hot.
Right.
To black people, but America just didn't know about them. So it was just easy. Like all these guys were ultra talented.
Right, sure.
What we did with Martin and Jamie and Bernie and Chris Tucker and Dave Chappelle and Steve Harvey and Cat Williams and Kevin Hart and all those people, they were underserved and underexposed, and Hollywood didn't see them. They would pick the more accessible, easy to digest comedians, but the big stars came from Edge and this cultural space that Hollywood doesn't see well. And so that's how they became famous, Def Comedy.
Chris Tucker to Dave Chappelle,
Steve Harvey,
Cedric, D.L. Hughley.
Yeah, of course, he did the same.
All these guys. So you're coming in with all these guys.
Yep.
Was that a game changer for you?
Yes. I mean, I remember I used to work at the bank. In fact, I was a teller, so I had to go back to working at the bank. I did Def Comedy Jam. I had to go back to work at the bank because Def Comedy Jam getting paid but $832 after taxes. It was like $622.48. So I had to go back to work, But I mean, people coming in couldn't believe I worked at the bank. They were like, brothers coming in, wow, hell, what the hell you doing at the bank? You was on Def Comedy Jam last night. What the hell you doing at the bank, man? What the fuck you doing? I'm like, what? And I was like, man, get to another. And they would actually wait in line for me. Like another teller was like, teller number 4. They're like, no, I'm waiting for my man from Def Comedy Jam. Fuck that, I want him to do my check. Deposit my check. I was like, motherfucker, you got a $38 check. What you doing with cable, motherfucker? Fuck out of here. But I felt embarrassed. But it did. I started working way more, way more. Remember, I was on the third show ever aired. Fourth show. The fourth show ever aired. So It was before Chris Tucker, before Jamie Foxx, for a lot of other people who got on it. Yeah, to be on the fourth show was huge. And that was hot then. I mean, people would literally not leave the house until after Def Comedy Jam and on a Friday night. And then they would go to a club. Yeah. Clubs would get packed after 12 o'clock. So it was that hot. So I started traveling and doing shows all over, man. Loved it. It was a blessing.